there's 5 stages to death, right? The first is denial. The last one is acceptance. I pretty much went from denial straight to acceptance. I looked. I was like, are you kidding me? I got stabbed again because this is only 6 weeks after the terrorist attack, right? So very close together. And I just go, okay, I'm gonna die. So pretty much right when that happens, we became international heroes overnight. Our life totally changed. You know, like I'm sitting in the hospital and the U.S. Embassy people got there, and the first thing he says to me is, hey, you better get ready. The president's calling you in like 10 minutes. And I was like, what? Like, you know, I didn't realize it was that big of a deal. Like, I knew it was a big deal, but I was like, is it really that big of a deal? The president's going to call me? And so that, you know, we're all of a sudden on this like big military kind of like tour, going on all the talk shows. I went on Jimmy Kimmel's show. He gave me a Camaro. You know, like, so we're just like, dude, like the craziest things are happening.
Jimmy's giving cars away. Like, I see this guy.
Exactly,
We gotta get Jimmy
right?
on
You gotta
there.
get on the show, man.
Holy shit! He never gave me a damn car.
Fucking Jimmy.
He's a good guy. I always give my friend Anthony shit because he chose to go on the Jimmy Fallon show, and he gave him Ugg slippers. And I was like, you got slippers. I got a Camaro,
Yeah,
baby.
for real.
I
He
chose
played.
the right
He
Jimmy.
got played. Yeah, he got played, man.
But so right, we go on this big tour, right, and it's kind of like, okay, back to reality. I go back to my normal life. That was fun, but it's over. And I go back to Sacramento, and I decided to take a few days off to hang out with some of my friends in Sac. I hadn't seen them in a while, so I wanted to go out with them, you know, go drinking and stuff. And so we go out to a club, and it's me, like 3 girls I've known since I was like 16 years old, and another guy that I had just met. He's like a new boyfriend of one of the girls I was with. Long story short, we're at the club. One of the girls starts throwing up, so it's like, all right, you know, I was like, all right, we're getting out of here. This is over. This is a shit show. So we're outside at this point. She's on the sidewalk. We're just kind of like making sure she's all right. And then the other guy that was there says, all right, I'm gonna go grab the car. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll wait here with them. See you in 5 minutes. He goes to get the car. And then 5 guys and a couple of other girls walked by, and a few of them ended up being a part of this Asian gang called Hotboxin, and they ran out of San Francisco. And they take out their phone, like their Snapchat, and they start recording her like as she's like dry heaving on the sidewalk. So I was just like, hey man, like what are you, you know, just being the only guy there, what the fuck are you doing? Like get out of here. And then that of course, you know, escalated into an argument. They're yelling, I was yelling. Then the girls I'm with start yelling. Everybody's yelling at each other, and it's like, but there was a moment where I was like, okay, there's 5 of them, there's 1 of me. I'm gonna have to fight them all if this happens. I was like, maybe I need to de-escalate this. Like everybody relax. So like now I'm trying to just, you know, bring it down, and I'm like pushing one of the girls I'm with back, and the dude's on my back. Out of nowhere, he jumps over my shoulder and just boom, she gets hit square in the face. I'm surprised she didn't get her teeth knocked out.
Good God.
So I'd see her face just go, just get blasted right in front of me, and I just turn around, and then I start swinging. And I still had my cast on from my hand surgery, so I only got 1 arm, and I'm just punching. As soon as I throw a punch, they're all on me. I'm trapped against this wall pretty much. And
So you're just a natural hero, right? You just gotta
No,
come to
man,
people's rescue.
Yeah,
I mean,
God
Captain America,
damn,
dude.
Fuck, man, you're gonna die. Stop.
Leave me alone.
God's got my back though. So
Yeah.
so I'm trapped against this wall, and I'm just thinking, all right, Spencer, like just don't fall down because I'm gonna get stomped out. That's how
Yeah,
you
don't
die.
fall down, please.
Yeah, so just stay up on your feet. And I'm like, I need to get away from this wall. I bust out of the wall. And I'm backing up into the middle of the street, and I'm talking hella shit at this point. I'm like, "What's up, motherfucker?" You know, like, come on. Like he keeps walking towards me, and I'm like,
Just one of the guys?
Just all of them.
All of them
are still coming at me, and I'm in the middle of the street, hoping a car comes and runs them over. To be honest, but so I kind of bait one of the guys to get a little closer to me. I drop him, but I didn't knock him out. But I figured at this point I gotta try and knock them all out because they're following me, you know, at this point. So I gotta do something. I go to basically try and finish him while he's on the ground, And then as I hit him on the ground, his friend comes up behind me and stabs me in the back, like 1.5 inches away from my spinal cord.
Ugh.
And that's the only one I felt at that point. I turn around and I square up with him just because I said in my head too, I was like, oh, he just stabbed me. I turn around, I look, and I see he has the knife down by his side like this, and we're just kind of bouncing back and forth, and I just go, whoa, man, like chill out. And I just run down the street, and then I'm running down the street, I'm just thinking I'm out of shape or something, and I'm just going,
yeah. Hit you in the lung?
yeah, well, but that one didn't, but I realized I had been stabbed 4 times total.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They were trying to kill you, man.
They were, oh yeah, 100%. I look down, I just see blood. I was wearing a white T-shirt, so I see blood, and then all this in my whole body just goes like, it's like a massive cramp. I just like, ugh, like it just set in, and they collapsed my lung. He punctured my heart, nicked my liver, and then like the one in my back was more of a flesh wound. It missed all my nerves, but thank goodness. I walked down the street. My friends come up to me. A cab driver comes up to me first, and he says, "Hey, man, you want me to take you to the hospital?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, just call 911. Like, I'm not trying to die in the back of a cab, you know." And I kind of walked down the street, and my friends come up to me and they're like, "Oh, you know, it's just like a movie scene." I started to get dizzy, so I'm like, "Oh, I need to lay down on the ground." And
I'd have been so fucking scared if I felt that way. I gotta lay on the ground.
It was scary, but in the weirdest way. There's 5 stages to death, right? The first is denial. The last one is acceptance. I pretty much went from denial straight to acceptance. I looked. I was like, are you kidding me? I got stabbed again because this is only 6 weeks after the terrorist attack, right? So very close together. And I just go, okay, I'm gonna die. Like, I see how much blood I'm losing. I can't breathe. And my whole body is just cramping up, and so I lay down on the ground, and all my friends come over me, and they're like, you know, they're panicking, of course, and I just pretty much said, like, hey, just tell my mom, my brother, my sister I love them, it's gonna be all right. And then I closed my eyes and thought I died, and then I woke up to the paramedic giving me a sternum rub, and then whisked me in the ambulance. I was a 6-minute ride to a level 1 trauma center. I had open heart surgery, exploratory surgery, bilateral chest tubes, some weird funky tube in my stomach. But, you know, luckily all the wounds they didn't damage my organs too much. And so the doctor pretty much told me I'm going to make 100% recovery. And so here I am. And
wow. Man, shit, man. Listen, how do you feel about life now? How do you look at, what's your perspective, man?
That's what I always say, is that the perspective I have on life now is priceless. Because when I laid down, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna die. Like, it was almost like this weird calmness came over me. Like, I was almost ready to die, but I wasn't at the same time. And when I woke up in the hospital, this is what really changed me. Like, I felt like I hadn't really like processed a lot what was going on in my life, especially because it all happened at once. And I was just sitting in there, and this is right after the doctor told me I was going to make 100% recovery. And I start hearing this guy in the room next door to me die. And, you know, you're in ICU, so people are dying in there all the time. But I listened to the whole thing. His family's there. His dad's punching the wall, you know, screaming his name, telling him to wake up, wake up. And so I'm just sitting here listening to the whole thing. My nurse comes in, and I kind of play stupid. I'm like, hey, what happened over there? And he was like, oh, well, we just had someone die. I said, oh, what'd he die of? And he said, pneumonia. And I was like, okay. Kind of like expecting him to be a lot older, you know? And I said, how old was he? And he said, he was 18 years old.
Oh, man.
And so an 18-year-old died of pneumonia in the room next door to me. And I survived a terrorist attack 6 weeks ago. Now I just got literally stabbed in the heart. And somehow I'm going to make 100% recovery. And that's why I just broke down in tears, started crying. Like, I was just like, what am I still doing here? Like, it just didn't make sense to me at the time. And it still kind of doesn't at times. You know, it's like, why was I spared and given a healthy body post everything? And this young man over here is just dying of pneumonia in a hospital. So my perspective on life is completely different than what it was before, and something you can't buy. So I'm really appreciative to have it at such a young age. And it's just like, man, literally you don't know when your time's coming. It's going to happen when you least expect it. And now really I just try to do the most with myself and just try and affect other people's lives as much as I can. And I feel like the best way I can do that is just by telling my story and just sharing my life with people. And I just hope, man, I can kind of like stealing the line from the movie with Tom Hanks, Saving Private Ryan, at the end when he says, earn this. Like I feel like I need to earn the life I've been given because I feel like I've been spared. So it's a privilege to be alive. So I just have a deep appreciation for what happened to me, because what happened to me is supposed to be, one of the worst things to ever happen to somebody, but it ended up almost being the best thing that ever happened to me. Kind of like the silver lining in my life.
What happened to the people that did this to you?
They only one guy went to prison. He's serving 9 years, but that for attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, and great bodily harm, he got 9 years. So I feel like it could have been longer, but I forgave the dude too. We all do stupid shit, so I can't just sit here mad at him for the rest of my life. That's gonna do nothing but hurt me. So I forgive the guy. I hope he gets out of prison, and I hope he does something positive with his life.
Thank you for sharing that, man.
No, man, of course.
Oh, wow.
Of course.
Man, you took me down.
I'm sorry.
I think it's the first time I've cried on the pod.
You have? Oh, okay, I didn't notice, man.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I'm sorry.
No, dude. Thank you. I'm filled with fucking inspiration,
Thanks, man.
and life and energy.
Survived all that shit, man.
It's amazing, dude. That is amazing. So that was in 2015?
That was all in 2015, yeah. And then pretty much right after that, we went into, we wrote the book while I was recovering, and we published our book on our life stories, and like me, Alec, and Anthony, just how our friendship overall, and how like we felt like our whole life was a preparation for the day of the terrorist attack, and just like how everything went our way that day and everything like that. And so we had published the book a year and a week after the anniversary of the attack, and during that time too, we met Clint Eastwood in an award show, the Guy's Choice Spike TV award show, and he was giving us the Hero Award. And so like we knew, like, that was the whole goal of us writing the book, was like, man, hopefully this gets turned into a movie one day or something, and not thinking it would ever actually happen. And we were like, oh shit, like we're meeting Clint Eastwood, like this is what he does up his alley, like he makes real life story movies, we have to say something to him even if it's a joke, And so we go back to the green room, and we're just kind of shooting the shit with him. He's a really cool guy, super funny. And we're just like, hey, we're writing a book right now. It's coming out in August. Like, hey, you should turn it into a movie or something. And then he was like, yeah, send me the book. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Why not? And we were like, oh wow, that worked. That was like the weakest sales pitch ever. So he got his address. I sent him the book, and it pretty much just took off from there. And we made the movie.
What's your life now? What you doing now?
So now, actually, there's the funny part about the movie is that Clint Eastwood asked us to play ourselves in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we acted as ourselves, and I think that's the first time it's been done since like Audie Murphy in the 1950s.
Yeah.
So that was an amazing experience. I loved acting. And so now I pretty much moved down here to pursue acting and try and get some more movies and do some stuff that I think will be cool. And I do a lot of speaking as well. So I travel all over the place, give speeches, just try and inspire people. And
that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, talk about not being a bystander nowadays.
Yeah, part 2 is a hell of a thing. Part 2 is just as juicy as the terrorist stuff. Part 2.
Really? And a lot of people don't even know about it.
Fuck, part 2 is really wrenching though, heart wrenching.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So heart wrenching, dude.
Thanks.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
How's acting?
Man, it's tough.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm in classes
Lot of
right
work.
now.
That's
a lot
great.
of work. Yeah, it's not going to come easy.
No way. That's bad. People think see on top and think that's backbreaking work acting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Acting's backbreaking work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot that goes into it, too. And it's like
You're there all day.
all
Yeah.
day. 12,
Yeah.
14
all day.
hours.
You know, God. All
Yeah.
day. You don't got, and by the time you get up, you're so tired, all you gotta do is go home and crash. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Then you gotta do it again the next morning. All day.
Yeah, man, it's a real fucking job. It's work, man.
It is.
Definitely.
If you really want to do it.
I even got into that for a while.
Hell yeah.
I spent about 6 years on sets. Nobody ever saw me there, but I was around.
Nice.
And but it's quite an experience, but it's work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the weirdest
absolutely.
thing to go audition for something, though.
Yeah,
Man, that is so strange.
that's a weird thing.
A lot harder than acting, in my opinion.
Yeah, they say, let me see what you got.
Yeah, just two.
And you've got like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just two people in a room and a little camera.
Yeah.
And it's like the people talking back to you are not putting any emphasis on what
Yeah.
they're saying, and it's like you have to carry the whole thing. And I'm just like, man, it's just easier if we just do the whole thing, you know? Like,
Yeah.
But I like it a lot though. So
Yeah, I love that stuff, man.
yeah,
I
I love
it as well.
movies. I grew up on movies, so
Dude, I'm just so blown
I
away.
am too, man. You had such a stimulating life.
thanks, man.
It's
Yeah.
amazing, man.
Thanks. Well, another thing I'm trying to do right now is basically I'm in the beginning phases of trying to create this television show, whether it's on streaming or what. And basically the concept would be, I'd be a producer and a host on it. And over the course of the last 3 years, I've met a lot of other people with crazy stories that have done amazing things, right? That have saved people or just really helped someone up if they were in a bind or something like that. And, me and my friends have been shown a lot of gratitude. We've been uplifted, praised, a lot. And, just to me, there's too many people out there that haven't received recognition for something great they've done. And so the whole concept would be is basically like me bringing their stories to light. And I'll call them like unsung heroes or like the unsung, whether it's someone coming from the military, whether it's someone just off the street who helped save somebody, pulled someone out of a car. These things are happening on a daily basis. And, it's like 10 seconds on the news and then people forget about it. So I think even just to like be able to immortalize that for that person and their family and have that legacy for them, I think is what motivates me to do it. But hopefully it happens. Hopefully it gets picked up. We'll see, though. It's tough.
That sounds dope
You gotta
as hell.
you gotta put yourself out there. You gotta be seen more, talk more on these sets like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
trying to. I'm definitely trying to. Getting my toes wet out here, so we'll see what
Big time.
happens.
You have family, anything? Brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I got a brother, I got a sister. My brother's the oldest, sister's the middle child.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest and the baby of the family. And my mom, who lives up in Sacramento still, raised us all by herself, so she's another one of my heroes.
Yeah.
I'd do anything for her. I love my
Cool.
mom. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
You ever
Shouts out.
your father in your life ever? Have you ever met your father?
He's been in and out. He's an alcoholic. He's in prison right now, actually, up at Lompoc. Lompoc.
California.
Yeah, not too far from here. He just went away about 6 months ago. But I think it's where he needs to be right now, to
feel
be
you.
honest. Yeah. So I'm not really tore up about it. I love my dad, but he needs a reality check, So
God works in mysterious ways, man.
yes, he does. Amen.
Nothing he does is an accident. He do.
No, it's all for a reason.
Nothing's just
Like you guys almost didn't get on the train,
Yeah.
you know?
Imagine how much carnage would have been done.
I know.
Oh,
People
yeah.
would have panicked and that fear.
So, I mean,
when my buddy, so when I was helping Mark, actually I forgot about this part. My friend Alec grabbed the AK, loaded a new round into it, and then went and checked the rest of the train to see if there's any more terrorists.
Oh, wow.
And he went back there, and he said it was like 5-6 cars that were full of people were just empty now. And he goes back, and they were just crammed back there like cattle. So if the terrorists would have made it past us,
He would've
which is like
killed
30,
everybody.
40 people, he would have just been shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah, the only weapons on the train.
Yeah.
The only weapons on the train. Nobody can stop him
Yeah. not
except
at
you
all.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
thank God.
Thank God.
Thank
yeah.
God.
Fuck.
It's an honor to do
Man.
it. One of the best things you could ever do is save someone's life. So
That's the truth.
the way
That's
I
the
feel
truth.
about it.
It's the most incredible story I've ever heard. Seriously, man.
Really?
For such a
Yeah,
young
yeah, I
man,
don't
for
know,
such a young
man.
man,
That's-
right? A young
Don't
man,
put me on a
your
pedestal.
brain is even not developed yet.
Yeah.
He made that fucking decision.
Go, Spencer.
Yeah, that's the tagline. Go on the blaze of glory. Oh, this is funny too. I don't remember this because I think I blacked out as I ran up to him. But his wife in an interview, I can't find the interview anymore though because it was hilarious. She goes, "Yeah, I'm looking, at my husband. He's laying underneath the seat and he's bleeding, and I see the terrorists coming in, and then I just see this big green shirt run by, and I just hear him scream, 'Fuck this shit!' And then she just hears me go boom, and then we tackle each other. So I was like, man, I don't remember saying that, but that's hilarious.
Fuck this shit, motherfucker.
I'm not dealing with
Legendary.
this.
Oh,
We're not
it's
gonna take this.
legendary.
We're America, baby. What's up?
Fuck this shit. That's so awesome, dude.
Yeah. No,
Don't
I'm
be too-
retired. I'm
yeah,
retired.
don't jump in front of shit too quickly.
Yeah, bro.
Take it easy, take some deep breaths and observe the situation and shit.
Yeah, I gotta take a step back.
Yes, God damn. God's giving you a message too. Chill out, man.
Yeah.
It's just chill, man. Somebody say fuck you, say I love you, brother.
That's
God
what I
does
try and
too.
do. I don't want to fight anymore.
Yeah,
Every fight I've been in, I've never thrown the first punch. So I like to keep it that way, But if someone hits you, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yes, you're right.
So it is what it is.
Fuck, dude. Do your chest hurt?
At times, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
fuck.
because my whole thing.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
The back of my neck right there.
Fuck, man.
It goes all the way down, pretty much.
See, I was just saying, I saw a couple of my friends that got shot and stabbed, and a lot goes through. You just don't get stabbed or shot, and then I come out the house, hey, man, brother, I'm cool. You go through a lot of psychological damage. You go through a lot of depression.
Well, definitely. That's one of the things with
Fuck, they tell me
open heart
that, man.
surgery.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, open heart surgery. It's like it's the most common symptom is depression.
Wow.
And definitely, I think everybody deals with it, at some point or regularly too. But the weird thing is like I get uncomfortable when I'm going out now, like going out to a bar, going out to a club or something like that. I feel like I'm on. I hate clubs.
That
to
shit's
be honest.
overrated,
I would
bro.
I would
Yeah.
never go to a club
Shit's
or bar
overrated.
again.
Yeah, fuck all that.
Because then you start noticing that everybody has a knife on them.
Yeah, everybody's packed
Everybody
now.
has something, and it's like, man,
Just stay at home and smoke some weed.
yeah, that's
Shit.
what I'm doing, baby. I'm
Have your,
trying.
girl, have your girl come to the house, man.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Netflix and
Oh,
chill.
they
that's what-
scared me outside. Outside scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Yeah, fuck that.
But you gotta live life too.
You do. You
can't
have to live.
You can't let you can't let it disable you.
Hey
you know?
man, all the power to you if you want to be at the rave, with the music blasting.
No fucking way, dude.
2,000
I'm so
people.
scared.
Whatever, bro.
Yeah.
And how's the drugs in the service, man? People use
drug-
a lot of drugs.
The whole drug culture was very different at that time. I mean, it was obviously the drugs were there, and in Vietnam, all through Asia.
I'm
it was-
watching the television. They're talking about the generation, and they're talking about the Vietnam War. And they got a guy have his gun, his shotgun, and he's putting the weed, blowing smoke in it to the other guy. You
That's
saw
a
that
great
too?
video.
That's incredible.
Isn't
I'm
that
watching
amazing?
Yeah. I thought, how's he done this without shooting the goddamn guy?
Yeah, that was in Platoon. They did
Yeah,
that.
so
as
Yeah.
well.
Crazy.
That is one of my favorite movies, by the way.
Yeah,
Platoon.
They're great.
Yeah.
In Vietnam, do people usually lose their mind in the war?
No, not usually. No, a lot of people don't know. Nobody knows how they're going to handle combat till they get into it. I mean, I don't care what they think. Just they just don't know. You can be the baddest ass in town and get in combat, and you just can't handle it. Or you could be the milquetoast of town and get in there and then be the big hero. It's amazing how people react and you don't know.
When bombs are going off and bullets
Yeah,
are flying.
and in a lot of ways, it's so much like happened with you. You almost don't even realize you're there. I mean, you got things to do. And the fact that people are trying to kill you or bombs are going off, it's you're not really afraid of that. I mean, it's not a good thing, but you're doing other things. You don't, just like you were doing. You got a problem, you take care of the problem, and all this other stuff is just, it's like, in a way, like you're watching a movie.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with that.
And if you can't pull yourself away, if you're worried about me, and forget that this guy's the one taking care of you, the one up there, if you lose that contact and worry about yourself, you're in trouble. You're really in trouble in combat. And then one last punchline for everybody watching this podcast: don't forget the veterans you see, and don't forget those guys wearing the uniforms. That's why we can live like we're living, and we are living pretty damn good. And it's easy to lose the bubble. It really is, because you get so involved in what's going on in your town, in the state, in the country, in the world, and just remember that it'd be a hell of a lot worse if it weren't for those people who had served and those people wearing the suit. And just don't forget, God bless them, recognize them, acknowledge them, because that's the core of why we are where we are right now.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Carlos, can I ask you a question?
Incredible.
I know during the Vietnam War, there wasn't a lot of appreciation for the people coming back. Did you experience any of that?
Sure. I was spat upon.
Oh, shit.
It was horrible. The people that were rioting against the war for whatever reason, and when I came back the first time, it was very early, because I was in there pretty early. So the war had not, the anti-war actions that you referred to really were just starting. And I mean, I never was physically abused or challenged, but these people screaming and shouting, just like you see on TV now with signs, and spitting at you and throwing things at you, you know, you're a baby killer, why are you over there killing? And that's kind of tough. That's kind of tough. And that was the first time. Second time I came back, it was almost worse, but it was just because that was about a year before the war was over. And people were resigned. They didn't want to have anything to do with the people coming back from Vietnam. Like, we had caused the war. We'd gone over there and destroyed the country, et cetera, et cetera. And it was a tough time for veterans. What I see now is much better in our world as far as veteran appreciation.
Good to know. So you think we're progressing in that aspect then?
I think so. I think there's a lot of it is social media, which I am not very astute at, but because of that, and a lot of it is commercial. A lot of commercial people are trying to make a buck by appealing to the veteran thing. But that's, and I'm not faulting it. That's good. The more we can recognize the veterans, but there are motivations behind recognizing now that were not there 40 years ago.
And there's still a lot of problems with the vets. You know, homeless. Way too many are.
I mean, if you go to
homeless.
the West Los Angeles VA and you go in there for 5 minutes, you see what the problem is.
Right.
You know, just how
it's horrible.
Talk about that.
I mean, I just transferred away from that hospital. That's where I was enrolled at. And it's just depressing in there, man.
So talk about the protocol as a guy who you're discharged from service and you're back in civilian life, and then you have
what's
access.
that like?
You have access to the VA. You know, what?
How do you get a job? How do you get a house as soon as you come
do
out?
they have any resources for you?
They're getting better. So when I got out of the military, I don't know if it was like this for you, Carlos.
Hell no.
We had a program called TAPS, where basically it prepares you to get released from the military. They help you build a resume, translate what you did in the military to make it applicable towards the civilian life, and things like that. But I don't know if it's as effective as it is. I don't really know, but I would say where we need to focus on the most is the healthcare system through the VA, because people are literally going in there trying to get help, and then they go shoot themselves in their car in the parking lot, and it's just like, what are we doing?
Is it because they are so depressed or have so much mental anguish?
It's hard to tie down. There's a gazillion reasons, and you don't expect it.
They're in a lot of pain.
Yeah, emotionally or physically.
Yeah.
Pain, pain's a lot of it. There's no question about that. I use CBD. I got lots of pain. I got pain places I didn't even know I had places before.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly not to the degree of people shooting themselves, but yeah, the pain from wounds, emotional pain from trauma.
Yeah.
And but as far as programs, I think certainly in the Marine Corps, and I'm sure it's true in the other services, but when you're getting out, the local people really take care of you. They'll try to tell you where to go, what to do, how to do it, and they really, really care. And again, I was blessed to be a Marine, and I don't know, somehow we seem to care longer and broader than most services. But the services try, but once you get out of that little circle, whatever it is, if it's out of the Marine circle into this area, or out of your immediate Army or Air Force people that let you go, I think individually, then you're kind of lost. I mean, you're out of the military and you're on your own, and you've lost 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, where your peer groups have been working, hopefully making money, but at least developing skills, learning life skills that are different than military.
I think that sorry,
it's tough.
Not to cut you off, Carlos, but just want to get the thought before I lose it. I think especially like as young men who join when they're 18, 19, 20 years old, and they bypass the college route and I guess like the normal route of things, and you get out, whether you do 4, 6, 10 years, and you've lived this one life through the military. And I mean, the military, in my opinion, I went in a boy, I came out a man. I was able to handle my stuff. I could take care of myself. I didn't need nobody. And then it's like what you said, they can prepare you as much as possible. But then once you're out the circle, it's just you. You're by yourself. You almost feel like very alone. And there's programs and things out there like that. There's a lot of people doing good stuff. So I don't want to say that it's a complete epidemic, but it's still a struggle. I think no matter for who you are and what you did in the military, just to leave the camaraderie of the military and just be thrown out into the world, and it's a dog eat dog world out there. So
the ocean of life.
Yeah, for real.
Mm-hmm.
And many guys, I've known this, through cannabis advocacy and all that. Many vets you go into the VA and they're coming out with massive prescriptions for opiates and highly toxic, powerful anti-inflammatories like 500 milligram ibuprofen, shit like that.
Yep.
And so access to cannabis is a big issue for the veteran community.
No
cannabis,
question.
CBD, helping to deal with the physical pain and, alleviate the need for opiates and all that stuff, as well as helping to treat the PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a big issue.
I don't use cannabis because I've got a disease of my legs. Some people think it's from the Agent Orange that I was in early in the war. May or may not have been that, but I really, really like the cannabis, the feeling it gives you and what it does for my pain. But then I have trouble walking. Because and as much as I like the high and the feeling of not being in pain, I just can't afford to do it.
Have you tried not smoking it but doing the sublingual drops?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, it hits me very quickly and very heavily, and I can't. I don't even want to experiment with it because with my neuropathy, I'm lucky. I'm lucky to get around anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you stick with the CBD.
CBD
During the
and
day.
it's great. Oh yeah, the
Copper gel.
Copper gel. Yeah, the applicate. What do you call it? The
Topical.
topical. That-
cream. Yeah.
Because when I heard that several years ago, topical, I thought it was something from the tropics. And anyway, no, the topicals are excellent. The copper gel and that ice, and I use that all the time, and that really helps. I wish I could use cannabis. I can't.
Yeah. Hey, man, everybody's different.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, that was amazing,
Dude,
man. I
thank
haven't
you.
heard nothing
Man.
like that since I've been on the podcast. I'm on here getting ready to cry, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, that was
I'm
unbelievable,
saying
man.
these dirty
Thank you.
motherfuckers done stabbed you.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I've been stabbed 9 times on the
Just-
white 50 cent, you know?
Yeah, just shit. Yeah, that's real, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Spencer,
God,
man. Thank you, dude. You're the man. And
Thank
Carlos, thank you. Thank you, both of you guys, for your service and everything you've
Big
done
time service.
for our freedom. I mean, that's just,
It was an honor to do it.
Amen.
thank you.
And that's just really doing work. That's blindly going into battle. You know what I mean? You have a cause, you believe in this cause. And sometimes these other people have a cause. You may not believe in this cause, but you're there for the fucking show, you know?
Yeah.
Got to keep going
Man.
forward.
That's right.
You guys got anything else you want to say before we
Can
wrap
anybody
it up?
contact y'all? If you want anybody to contact y'all? Like to get
Instagram?
anybody to get in touch with you to get your work out there?
For like acting or what?
Yeah. For
Anything, man.
People blow a lot of smoke up at your ass. A
No,
lot of
listen.
empty promises out there.
Yeah, listen.
You know?
That's
Clint
what,
Eastwood is the only guy that's ever come
that's
through
what,
for us.
Listen,
you know?
that's just true. That's what I always believe too. But like you said, somebody came out. Clint Eastwood came. Somebody come. Never give up. Never look at it like they're all, it's over with now. I don't
No,
believe
yeah,
it.
definitely.
You always
Yeah.
have the attitude. You got to have the attitude that you have, make you the person that you are.
Thank you.
Don't ever
Yeah,
give
yeah.
up. And
No,
think
I'm
it's
not going to
over.
give up at
Yeah.
this point. I already know. It's like a deep core like thing I have that is like I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I wouldn't be going in this direction if I didn't feel it in my gut. But I just got to put in the work. Can't give up, like you
It's all
said.
about putting the work in, man.
Yeah.
Incredible life, man. Your life, you're such a young guy. And you just started off with this incredible life, man.
How old
Thanks,
are you?
man. I just turned 26.
That thing,
It happened when I was 23.
You see
Holy
this
shit.
shit? God damn.
Holy shit, bro.
Well, man, I feel like I could talk to you guys forever. So
It's not even
I mean,
him.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't even
I
lived
feel like
your
we
life.
can talk about a lot.
You know what I mean? Haven't
Yeah,
even
man.
lived 20. Oh,
Dude,
God.
you're just starting, man.
God, it's great.
Am I though? I feel like I've lived a full
Yeah,
life.
I
but
know,
no,
I
you haven't
know.
seen nothing yet, man.
He's probably got stories he hadn't had a chance to tell yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You got a lot of
No
stories as
doubt.
well, man.
That's beautiful, man.
I mean, I don't know what else to say other than that was amazing.
Thanks, man.
Well, guys,
Let's take us out, brother.
It's been a great time.
man, what an amazing episode. Thank you guys again so much.
Thank you.
For your service, for coming in here and honoring us with this great pod interview. Mike, thank you.
This is pretty awesome. You never know how you're going to act in war, right? That's in all
That's
aspects of life. You know, when you're under that pressure cooker, you don't know how you're going to react.
That's
If
right.
you're not prepared, don't care how prepared you are, when the real thing comes down to it, you don't know how you're going to react.
No
That's
doubt.
it. That's story of life.
Your training's going to kick in.
Definitely. 100%.
That's it, man. So you better fucking
That's
be
all you
ready.
got. So you better be prepping in the
Yeah,
meantime.
for real.
No
You know?
doubt, dude.
Staying sharp, staying on point.
Absolutely. Well, for another great episode of Hotboxin, I'm Eben Britton.
I'm Mike Tyson.
This is Spencer and Carlos. We're out of here.
See ya. That was pretty awesome.
That was amazing. Thanks, guys.